Hey guys, this is the Crow 2119, aka Draven, coming at you with a life update. This video is contributed to a lost friend of all of ours at Heritage High School. His name is AJ Stewart, a very lovable student, friend, brother, cousin, uncle, whatever he was. All the above. He was a really great person in this world. And we're all gonna miss him. And I'm sorry that I got a hood on her now, but my hair is kind of messed up, and I tried to fix myself as best as I could to make this video. But AJ had cancer and was going through a really rough time. He was really sick, and we all knew that he was going to be strong and fight through it, but we didn't know if he was going to make it. I just recently got the news that he had passed away. And I knew AJ well, but not like really close. But he was my friend. I met him on my junior year. No, I met him on my sophomore year. And actually I can't remember, but I know it was in my Art 2 class. It was either my sophomore or my junior year. And AJ was sitting in the middle table next to the wall in front of the heater in Mrs. Brown's class by my friends Brian Schneller, Brittany Lynn, Colleen Moore, and Kristen Heyman. He wasn't afraid to show himself to the world. He wasn't afraid to embarrass himself. He was just an outgoing person. He was kind, caring, funny, and just lovable all around. And without him, I have to say, I wouldn't know half the people in that art class that I know now if it wasn't for him. I'll never forget the one time when he was trying to pronounce my name right. He got it wrong, and I had to tell him how to say it exactly, and then he got my last name wrong, like everybody else does. It made me laugh even more that I had to tell him how it was pronounced. And then every time he'd make a joke or it got really quiet in the art room and he'd say something really loud to stop the awkward silence, and it'd be like the best thing ever to hear his voice. And he would make an art project of like a marshmallow with Bob Marley hair and glasses on a surfboard with angel wings. And he would always like play with it and make it look like he was surfing on water. And he would always pretend like he was crying when we were making fun of him for being so small. And he'd pretend he was crying, and then he'd go for a hug for Colleen, like he'd go to Colleen, give her a hug, and make this little sad face. But he'd be joking in the end, and then he would always throw pieces of paper at me and Brian and Colleen, and mess with bottles and tennis balls we found on the floor that used to be used for chairs in the art room. There was a lot of good moments with AJ that I'll never forget. He was a good friend. I'll definitely never forget that I made a post about him on Facebook saying how cool of a friend he is to me, and how all the other people at that table are really cool to me. But out of all of them, I just thought AJ was the coolest one. So there was another time where I saw him in the hallway, and I was walking out of the cafeteria from a meeting for wrestling season, and this was the last time I had ever talked to AJ, because after that I didn't see him after. He said, "Hey Draven, what's up?" I said, "Hey AJ, not much, how about yourself?" And I gave him a high five, and then he asked me, "How was wrestling season?" I said, "It was great, I'm having a really good time." He's like, he's just like, "Well, that's good. Well, go kick ass out there, man." And I told him, "I will." And the thing is, after the meeting, the next day after that, there was a wrestling match. And it was against a really hard team that I didn't know I could win against, but after that, after going to that match, I won. And the thing is, it just got me thinking that I wrestled that match for AJ and I didn't even know it. So I'll never forget him. I'll never forget you, AJ. You were a very strong part of Heritage. Everybody loved you. You have made so many friends, and they will all truly miss you. I'm gonna miss you. And from this day forth until the end of the season, every time I wrestle, it's gonna be for you. To be honest, I never had a purpose for wrestling this year. I kind of found it pointless. But after thinking about when you said that to me that day, and then going on that mat and winning, I realized that I have a purpose now in wrestling. And that purpose is for you. So this is my goodbye to AJ. The "I love you" I should have told him, that I never got to do. We'll all miss you. Goodbye.